How's it going, everyone? We're back with another weekly watch list here. Hope you all had a good weekend so far. Feeling recharged, refreshed, and prepared, most importantly, to head into this week inside and outside the market. So without further ado, I've got some good stuff I want to go over. Let's get into it. So first things first, obviously a lot of world news at the moment. That is obviously not my realm of professionalism to speak on, but let's just remind ourselves the market is not the news. While the news can and has dictated a lot of direction in the market, let's just say focus on our levels, our zones, and react to the reaction of those levels and zones. So let's get into it. So I have ES open here. Okay, again, we're going to be covering SPY, QQQ, and IWM. For all of those, mostly SPY and QQQ, though, I will use SPX levels, although I will say SPX levels do have relevancy to IWM in regards to just which direction you're going, right? If we're coming up on SPX resistance, then I'd probably be a little bit wary of going long on IWM and vice versa. Not to say that SPX levels have any conjunction with IWM levels. That'd be insane. They're not the same price, if you will. So, but I have been using ES and NQ for a little bit of extra confluence in the last 2 weeks. I think I went over ES and NQ a little bit in last week's watch list for specifically SPY and QQQ. So I'm going to start with that. So let's actually start on SPY first, and then we'll go back to ES. So on SPY, main things I'm going to be looking at here, okay? Just take a look real quick at the weekly, right? This has been a while since we've had two heavy candles like this. That showed a lot of selling. Like we had these two here that were a little bit of indecision here, and then obviously heavy selling here, and then what happened? We just ripped our face off, went right back up. But with volume, two heavier selling weeks here, especially in lieu of some of the news that's going on, I do lean a little bit towards this downward side of having a bit of a pullback here. Even just looking at the monthly. We're pretty red for the month. We have not had a red month at all since October. So, the market is definitely overdue for a little bit of a healthy pullback. Okay. So as always, looking at previous day low, previous day high, previous day low for resistance and support. I do have potential area / level / zone here, just because there's a pretty big range between the previous day's high and low, and usually we have some sort of like support turn to resistance or resistance turn to support in big range days like this. So this 512 zone, this 511.74 to 512.30, this obviously very clear support, potentially now turn resistance here in between these two zones here. So first reject, if we get above this, is this high day. Friday's high, 515.84. Above that, I have 519.47, and above that, 521.36, and then pretty much back to all-time highs up here, okay? In regards to support, gotta go all the way to 4 hour here. First I'm gonna be looking at is this demand, if you will, area here at Friday's low, down to 508.44. I do really like that. Below that, I have 504.75, and then below that, this 503/502. I want to see if anything on the daily here. No gaps or anything like that. Right now, at least, I don't think there's really any until all the way, let's see, down here, which is pretty far. What the heck was that person honking at? Anyways, so what, down here to this 498. So this 498 to 497 area, come down, fill this gap, but obviously, pretty decent ways away, but I can see it happening. Let's see. So let's head over to ES now. So again, just use these levels in conjunction with SPY. So real simple on ES. Let's go over the 4 hour. We have this trend line that I put in the last watch list, and we had a nice. Actually, no, it's QQQ. QQQ. We had a nice liquidity grab on the 4 hour. But here I'm going to be looking at is this first level here as resistance. This support turn to resistance here at 51.81. And then really easy to see bounce levels at on the 4 hour, 51.21, 50.86, and down here at 50.63. Now I'm really just using the 4 hour and 1 hour for ES and NQ for any sort of technical analysis. Like I'm not really looking down on the lower time frames. I will if I were intraday, of course. But I can see this clearly being support, retest this area for a reject back down. So we'll be looking at that. Let's go over to QQQ and then of course NQ. So QQQ, previous day high, previous day low, resistance, support, 446. Let's actually take this over the hourly real quick. This whole 446 to 447 supply is really one big, massive friggin' zone. So that would be if we do get above Friday's high, which has been a really key level recently. As you can see, lots of support turn resistance and confluence in this area. So that is a pretty strong level. Below that, I have this 436, which I don't think is worth very much. My really main area is this demand zone down here. I think we can see it more clear on the 4 hour. This 432 to 433 area, this big zone right here. That is more high probability for me for a legitimate bounce. Looking at my notes here, I've talked about this one a lot recently, this gap 425 on the daily. So I believe right here. Yeah, as you can see, we have this gap here. We haven't filled it. So I can see this 425 being a really nice bounce area. Okay. And then over to NQ. Same thing, really simple technical analysis here, but on the 4 hour, we had this trend line I drew last week. And we had a nice liquidity grab up here. I do have this supply in this 1 hour up here, this 18, big old fucking number. You get the point, fucking 18, 5, 6, 7. I'm not gonna get into the numbers. You can see it for yourself here on the chart, this zone. Real simple bounce levels here on NQ, right? Here being the first one, 18,048. It's just an easier way to say these numbers. I don't really obviously trade futures or anything like that. I'm just using these charts to, have extra confluence with QQQ and SPY. And then below that, 17,914. And then below that, here we have 17,830. So looking at those, all right, in conjunction with the QQQ chart for bounce plays. So let's finish up with SPX and IWM. So SPX, real quick, I always just mark previous day high, previous day low. That's in red, so really, really simple. Area of resistance and support. I do have this level here, which does line up with that 512 area on SPY as this support, turn resistance. So I could see us, again, really big zone, kind of look for something in the middle that was maybe support, turn resistance, or vice versa to have a good play at. So I will be watching this. My blue levels are my potential levels. Okay, if we just go right through them, I'll just take them off the chart. I do really like it though. I think that if we get over this 5147, 5150 area, there's a pretty nice easy room up to this 5175, or hell, I think even just fill this gap and just go right back to 5200, right? Another big whole psych number. Lastly, IWM, again, real simple, previous day high, previous day low, a little bit more of a tighter range here. We have this resistance right above it, which I could see as kind of breaking right above. And this is my main reject area. I've been saying it for a couple of weeks now, this 20446 daily gap fill. So go to the daily right here. Right here we have this gap, 204 area. I do like that for a reject. Below that, let's go to the 4 hour. It gets a little dicey here on IWM. We have our previous day low holding us up for dear life. If we break that, we have potentially this 196. I mean, it is a good level, I guess. I don't want to say potentially. It's pretty strong here. Back in Feb, but main one's gonna be this 192, a lot stronger. And on the way in between, we do have this here, this potential of 194. So that's what I'll be watching on IWM, but really, I like this 192. I do think we could definitely get down there. So I think that's gonna wrap it up. That's about everything I have. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate it as always, and I wish you the best inside and outside the market. If you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing, dropping a like, dropping a comment, letting me know your thoughts, and I wish you all the best rest of your day and week. Peace, guys.